was not expecting one of my how-to media analysis videos to blow up like it did, but my paratext video just became my most subscribed to video, so thanks for that, and welcome to my channel. Link in the Ko-fi is in the description. If you're here because of that video, then you already know that when you do media analysis, you can run into some problems if you try to treat paratext with the same gravity as text. Sometimes text and paratext contradict one another, and sometimes creators change their mind before adding a detail to the show. Sometimes two pieces of paratext contradict each other, and then we get arguments about what Amir Talai versus what Stephanie Medrano said about Alistair's sexual and romantic orientations in two different interviews. But as much fun as it is to look at things that aren't in the show, sometimes it can be fun to do the opposite and do a really deep dive into the implications of something that is in the show, but that might have been an accident or even an error. This video is a deep dive into something that was probably a mistake, but that nonetheless has some interesting implications for the show's world building. In episode 7, Alistair and Charlie go to Cannibal Town to meet his friend and fellow overlord, Rosie. When they enter her shop, she greets him like this.
Oh my stars! Do my eyes deceive me? Alistair? Alistair! Where have you been? These halls really lost some of their sparkle without your lively presence.
She's acting like she hasn't seen him in years and that she didn't even know he was back in town. But this isn't true. In episode 3, they met one another at Carmilla's meeting. They sit next to each other. They even talk to each other.
It could happen. That's possible. That's possible, I suppose.
There are no two ways about it. Rosie knew Alistair was back. It's easy to chalk this sort of thing up as being a mistake, and mistakes can be disregarded as a kindness to its creators. After all, they put in so much hard work, and it's not really fair to point out all their mistakes. Medrano herself has gone on record saying that people sending her all the animation errors is redundant because she already knows they're there. She even seems frustrated by the fact that they keep nitpicking the thing rather than overlooking the errors they didn't have the resources to fix and enjoying the product as it was intended. Let me be very clear, that is not what I'm doing. If I was, I would pause here and say, look, Medrano made a mistake. Alistair and Rosie sat next to each other, and then she forgot he existed. I agree with Medrano. I don't think that's a very enlightening way to engage with the media you consume. Good thing I'm going somewhere with this. Whether this discrepancy was a purposeful inclusion in this show or not, it can tell us something. Alistair and Rosie meeting in the shop in Cannibal Town is their first public meeting in 7 years. He shows up and she makes a scene, even though she's known for 4 months that he's been back. This discrepancy, along with her exuberant greeting, indicates that she's actively making a show of their reunion for an audience made up of her people. This is an act. She's purposefully feeding them false information, which signals the level of secrecy and confidentiality of those meetings. While it was widely attended by overlords of all backgrounds, it seems to be more than simply exclusive to that cast. These meetings are a secret on the level of the Freemasons or the Illuminati. Outside of these meetings, the participants have to pretend that they didn't even happen. For Alistair and Rosie, this means sitting next to each other in a meeting and discussing over a conference table, then publicly making a show of seeing each other for the first time. When analyzing media or anything else, it's not enough to simply notice a mistake or discrepancy. This can be a starting point, but the analyst has to then unpack for their audience the implications of that artifact on the character's past, the world building, the creative process, or any other aspect of the whole, but you have to use it to say something or you haven't contributed anything. Basically, if you notice things and point them out, then you're a pedant. But if you notice something and then do analysis on it, then you're big brain smart like me.